They say that dead men tell no tales, and that it's important that you record what final words you have, for your trip through the mortal coil may just be coming to an end. Well, when it comes down to these 10 characters, their trip through the mortal coil has already went, but they're still doing something that matters to someone. What's up everybody, StevDeS here, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 dead people in video games as the kickoff to Scarevember. What's Scarevember? Well, it's where we celebrate the spooky and scary and kind of morbid sometimes when it comes down to the Halloween season, because it comes and goes so quickly. Let me tell you, I love Halloween. It just sucks that it's one day a year. Well, here on the StevDeS channel, we're done with that. We are going to start off with the top 10 dead people in video games because week 1 is celebrating the dead. Strap in because this list was actually quite hard to put together, as is shown by my honorable mentions. Zombie TK Baja, Dampy's Ghost, Cloud from Kingdom Hearts. Hades had to have him for some reason. Sir Lee from Rogue Legacy, Thane from Divinity 2, and Aerith Gainsborough. Number 10 on this list is from a rather well-known N64 game, Lady Bow. In Paper Mario, Lady Bow is one of the partners that you get relatively towards the middle of the game, but you have to be sure you explore everywhere in order to get there. Honestly, when I was a kid, I didn't know that the ghost section existed, neither did a close friend of mine. Sup, dude? And, well, Lady Bow is better than I thought she would be. Her attacks do lack in power, but they have combinations to them. So, I don't know, she's a party member you could be without, but she's absolutely necessary in order for you to beat the game. And, quite frankly, a Boo's a really cool partner. I mean, how cool is it to have a ghost helping you? One way or the other, Lady Bow's there to stay when it comes down to Mario's friends. And she's kind of low on the list because, like I said, she's not necessary to win the game. She's just necessary to get past one section of it. There are other party members that do her job better. Whatever way you see Lady Bow's usefulness, she definitely deserves a spot on this list. Number 9 on this list goes to the Underworld's leader. And no, I'm not talking about Dracula, the devil, or anything like that. I'm talking about Prince Ash from Hell Yeah! The Wrath of Dead Rabbit. Now, don't let this rabbit fool you. His, chainsaw, missile, launch, backpack, there's a lot going into what he uses. But the idea is that there are 100 demons that are leading the uprising against him after his father died, and he needs to take over Hell. Throughout the whole game, you're playing as a dead rabbit who is the Prince of Hell. So, I think that would come with a pretty cool weapon. I mean, look at that thing. I'd love to roll around in that. However, the reason he's so low on this list is because Hell Yeah is kind of a cult classic. It's not really in the mainstream, but it definitely shows that Prince Ash is one force to be reckoned with. And he deserves this spot on the list. Just don't go plotting any uprisings against him, otherwise, you might meet a belated end. Number 8 on this list is the wise old master that taught Sion Barzad everything he knows, Master Wong. Master Wong is one of those figures that you really wouldn't understand unless you played through Sion's, or Sion. Is it Sion? Let me say it in the voice. Sion Barzad. Yeah, it's Sion. Basically, he's the guy that took Sion in as a kid and taught him everything he knows. And you barely get to see him through the game. So much so that him being dead through most of the game is more of an inspiration to Sion than anything else other than Chaldea, but there's no proof as to whether or not Chaldea is officially dead. Not to mention, he's such a prevalent figure to the main character, he's got to be on this list. Now, I would have put Aerith Gainsborough on the list, but there is one issue about that. Aerith begins the game alive. You can't really have a dead man telling tales if the dead man is living. So, with this, number 8 isn't a bad spot for Master Wong, considering how important he is in the grand scheme of things. None other than the character that you helped build to be Clementine's inspiration after season 1 of The Walking Dead, Lee Everett definitely is one of the dead people we will always remember in the Telltale community. And we'll also remember Telltale. God rest their soul. Seriously, where's my Batman Season 3? I haven't even played through episode 1 yet because my game's still broken. Telltale, you owe me a good copy. In seriousness, Lee Everett is one of those characters that, even though the series kind of forces you to remember him in some cases, it's one of those forces that you really enjoy. Every time he's brought up by Clementine, you realize that there is a connection there between the two. And whatever choices you made really help impact how Clementine acts. It's really heartwarming, to say the least. Unfortunately, the dead always catch up with you. So, Lee, rest in peace, my friend. Number 6 has no name, but the name you give him, or her. Number 6 has no destiny, but the destiny that you make. Well, actually, that's not entirely true, but, you know, you're the character. That's kind of the point. Number 6 is a influential figure, despite being a member of the undead. That's actually factual. I didn't mess up on that one. Number 6 belongs to the Dark Souls protagonist. Now, I mean every Dark Souls protagonist, because each one has their role to play in the world. Even though that role is being dead first, and being dead throughout it, it all has to circle with that curse. So, it's kind of hard to debate how important your role is in the Dark Souls universe. Whether you be a fallen knight, a bearer of the curse wishing to put it to an end, or just someone willing to hunt the Lords of Cinder and bring about a new age of fire, or a new age of darkness, the Dark Souls protagonist has always been there to make sure the land keeps going, for better or for worse. Number 5 is a rather villainous addition to the list, Dr. Zomboss, the evil scientist that brought the zombies from the earth to take over the city of Neighborville. Taking over the world is kind of coming to a point. But at least he's, perfected time travel. Zombies are in time. Even though that game sucks. In honesty, when I start live streaming, I might live stream Plants vs. Zombies 2. Let me know if you want that in the comments below. Also, Plants vs. Zombies 3 is coming. I can't wait! But I'm still afraid of it, because it's got them microtransactions. Check that video out if you want to know how I feel about microtransactions. But back to the topic at hand. Dr. Zomboss. My god, what an amazing villain. To think that the zombies were all just mindless, and then at the end of the roof stages, you get a really nice note that, expertly crafted, tells you to surrender your house and your brains to his horde. He's the one that's been pulling the strings. There's a big villain behind the zombies. I couldn't leave Dr. Zomboss off the list in good faith. There's no faith when it comes down to zombies. I mean, honestly, Holy's supposed to kill him. Regardless, Dr. Zomboss is going to be one of those undead creeps that we all know and love at the end of the day. Which one? Which one?
I knew this guy would come back on the list.
But why wouldn't he? In Black Ops, it was a really cool story theme to see that Reznov didn't exist. What? You're hallucinating one of the best parts of World at War the whole time? One of those mind blows that you wouldn't expect in a Call of Duty game, and all the more reason for Reznov to be on this list. He was very knowledgeable as to what was going on, knowledgeable enough to give you the hints and tell you, oh, we need to hurry and make sure that this doesn't happen. There were more notable people in the Call of Duty franchise that started out dead, like the people that made the Nazi zombies. But when it comes down to it, this guy deserves the respect. Number 3 belongs to a very loyal friend and a very loyal warrior. Someone who indefinitely makes sure that his party members really were taken care of. And even though it was revealed that he was dead the whole time, he was still someone who made an impact on the people around him. And finally, he made sure that his friend completed their objective and made sure that they were okay, safe. Naturally, I'm talking about StevDeS from Final No, I'm not going to put StevDeS here. Heck no, this glory belongs to Orin. By the time you get Orin in the game, all of your worries have vanished. Orin is a powerhouse and he's an experienced fighter out the gate. I shouldn't have to tell you how important he is to the story either, because he is one of those people that was dead from the beginning to be sure that StevDeS fulfilled his end of the bargain with sin. Cheating death to fulfill his end of a promise he made to a beloved friend way back. Let me tell you, he deserves this spot and much more. But there are a couple of dead undead that kind of deserve the spots above him. A soldier of vengeance never, ever lets the fires of hell quell within his soul, and such is the case with the Revenant Scorpion. Naturally, he wanted his revenge against Sub-Zero, but later on found that his vengeance belonged to Quan Chi. And boy, did Scorpion get it! If there's anyone on this list that deserves the sort of hatred, the rage associated with being an undead bound to hell, then by all means, Scorpion's your man. Not to mention he's a really cool ninja. Whatever the case, NetherRealm Studios picked one hell of a mascot. He's gonna be loved for ages to come. The number 1 dead person in video gaming is Sir Dan Fortescue, the loyal knight of the king who had come back to life to defeat the evil sorcerer who hath brought a curse upon everybody in the... I have not played the game, but the game is legendary in reception. So, by all means, if we're going to have a protagonist at number 1 on this list, Sir Dan Fortescue definitely deserves this spot. From what I've heard from his legends, other than the arrow in the eye that he took that tragically took his life while everybody else knows the truth, the king thinks he's worth it, and you know what? He proves himself in the game Medieval. Suffice it to say, Sir Dan Fortescue is a dead man who will try to tell tales without a lower jaw, but by all means, tales will be told about him for years to come. one thing's for sure about this list, and that there are some dead people who do tell tales. And I think we've got a pretty good list, but what do you all think? Go ahead and comment below if I missed out anybody that was really important. For more what ifs in the realm of video gaming and Dragon Ball alike, such as the what if Vegeta was fighting his fears when he took that nap, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao! Scarevember has just begun!